In my videos, I've discussed how you shouldn't be loading apps like WhatsApp or Facebook on your phone. What I'll do here is explain to you why this is important, because if you don't, you will be zucked. And it's coming up next. The popularity of WhatsApp seems to vary by country, with Europe and India leading the pack. Do these users think WhatsApp is private? The masses are gullible, and in this video I'll explain the kind of dangers you expose yourself to when you install WhatsApp on your phone. Apparently, some large chunks of the world population aren't even aware that WhatsApp is a Facebook property. And of course, most people will not read the Facebook End User License Agreement, or EULA, which clearly states a lot of the dangers I will be discussing here today. People flock to WhatsApp because they hear the word encryption and then assume that it is safe. This is an amazing ploy of disinformation by Zuckerberg, which he exploits to the fullest. To highlight the issue here, I'll illustrate this with an example of two people, let's say a man and a woman, having a private and perhaps secretive affair, and both decide that they will use WhatsApp to converse, send pics, hoping they stay under the radar. So we will investigate what Zuck would know about this relationship. First, when you sign up to WhatsApp, you use a phone number. And it should be obvious that a phone number identifies you completely. Some here will think you can get away with burner phones and other similar options. You won't. Next, most people who use WhatsApp will upload their contact list. Those contact lists will have real names and phone numbers of people. And this draws not only a connection between a phone number and people's names, but also what is called a relationship map. Someone can infer connections based on intersections of contact lists. Then, WhatsApp, like Facebook, tracks unique identifiers on your phone, such as the MAC address, which is a unique serial number on your device. That then matches your corresponding Facebook account. It will be the same identifier since it's the same device. Your WhatsApp information is tied to Facebook in multiple ways. Your phone number, which you use for two-factor authentication on Facebook, your MAC address, your device fingerprint in general, your IP address, and your contact list. Thus, there is a 100% correlation between your identity on WhatsApp and your real name on Facebook. Facebook is a real name site. WhatsApp is not pseudo-anonymous in any way, meaning a fake name is meaningless. So we'll start with the first conclusion, that the man and woman having a liaison are now known by real name. It is also going to be known what times of day they are in touch with, and I would bet there would be a pattern as well as frequency. I would also bet that if I were Zuck, I could find these affairs just by comparing frequent contacts between a man or a woman with different locations, different names, and different contact lists. This, my friends, is how metadata can be used for blackmail. Now let's go further. We already know that these people are not connected by virtue of having separate relatives, separate lives, with occasional intersections of location. Of course, Zuckerberg will know your political beliefs, religious beliefs, financial status, friends, work, plenty of information here that could be used for blackmail. It gets worse. Because of the device fingerprint, Zuckerberg also knows most of the websites they visit. Every website or app that has a Facebook like button actually hosts a Facebook tracker that spots your device fingerprint. Then the next time you log into Facebook or WhatsApp, it can send a tracker to Zuckerberg and match your identity to what you have been doing on the internet, even if you're not logged into Zuckerberg. Since most people are on Zuckerberg and people are posting pics to it all day, then someone will eventually take your picture even if you're in the background. And Zuckbook will be able to do facial recognition and tag you. Facebook facial recognition is at least 98% accurate, probably the most accurate in the world. You will not escape. So, if you happen to be at a public restaurant having this liaison, then a table nearby could take your picture, auto-tagged with location data, and now Zuck knows that you and your date are now seen together and recorded in Zuckbook in perpetuity. Now, some will say that the conversations are encrypted, and so we don't really know what this man and this woman are talking about. This is foolishness. Intelligence agencies know that behavior can be revealed by the metadata, and it is not necessary to know what's being said. Intersections of locations at non-business locations and not at home already tell us a lot. Do these two people work together? The metadata will reveal that. Is there a pattern of hours to the conversations where there's an absence of communications at certain times? Let's confuse the issue a little bit. Obviously, the information available to Zuckbook is incredible here. What if the man and woman were in politics or some position of influence? Could someone use this knowledge to manipulate government in a way that could affect us in general? Control a vote, for example? This kind of Opsec or operational security analysis I'm doing here can be applied to other apps as well. For example, the same risks occur when using apps like Signal and Telegram. Basically, any app that uses a phone number as the main identifier and collects contact lists are all dangerous. Some of you think that the answer is to never upload a contact list. The problem is that it is not you that's the question. Can you stop your friends or relatives from uploading a contact list that you're in? Facebook or Zuckbook has its own very dangerous flaw in that it forces you to interact on the internet without pseudo-anonymity, yet without any sort of privacy. It is very easy to retrieve information on Facebook about anyone, even with the maximum so-called privacy settings. Watch my video about how to dox if you have any doubt. So I hope you realize that certain types of data or metadata are more important than you think. The lesson to be learned here is that pseudo-anonymity is extremely important because in effect it creates disinformation. This is why I have my own pseudo-anonymous app, Brax.me. There is no phone number requirement. There is no email requirement. There is no real name requirement. It is super encrypted on top of that, and it is open source. I made this app because I realized that the major flaws in all these platforms can destroy your privacy, even though they claim to have encryption. I hope I've given you food for thought, and subscribe to my channel for more thought-provoking topics on privacy. Thank you for watching.